YouTube, what it do? Lil Petty back at you guys with another stock market episode. Alright, you guys, so today in this episode, we're going to be talking about the top stocks I'm looking to trade. We're going to show you guys how I look for continuation plays. We're going to talk about a trade that I took today, and we're going to talk about strategies. So I'm going to try and keep this episode about 10 minutes. So without further ado, we're going to get into this episode. And as you guys know, I like to start off looking at the market watch on the Thinkorswim, the visualize, so we can see what was going on in the market. And as you guys can see, the SP 500 was basically not green, but not red. A little bit more red than green. We had some stocks that were holding up the market. We had Facebook, Apple, ABV, ALGN, Bank of America, Delta Airlines. In the Russell, financials were down. Informational technology was decent. Healthcare was decent. Industrials were down. The Dow Jones basically was red, except for Apple, Microsoft holding the Dow Jones index up. Walgreens was down 12%. DuPont was down 32%. And in the NASDAQ looks actually pretty healthy. Facebook leading the way, 3%. ALGN, 2%. Wynn Resorts, 4%. Apple, and you guys see where we stand. So let's look at the top stocks that I'm going to be looking to follow up on for the week. And the first stock that I want to go over is Microsoft. Why do I see value in Microsoft? Let's zoom out. So we're going to zoom out to the 180-day chart. And as you guys can see, Microsoft has been on this uptrend. We got this candle right here, which is the old all-time high. We have broke that. We're holding this as support. So if we zoom in, you can see what the trend is doing. It's still going up. We have the bullish holding the 12 EMA as support on the 4-hour chart. And we are looking to see if this stock can either push up, and if it doesn't, then it's going to break this support right here and come back down and try and test this 116. If not, we're gonna break above here and see potential to the upside. So when you come over here to the tab, you can clearly see, well, not clearly yet, but we're looking at the Microsoft. So if we're gonna play the weeklies, then we're gonna play as close as possible. We're not gonna probably go for these 121s unless we have a gap up. Then we would play these 121 bullish, or just play the 120s closer. You can play in the money. These are pretty cheap. Or if you want to be a little bit more riskier, then go for these. If you think it's going to be a gap fade, then we're going to come over here and play these puts, these 118s, 119s. If you want to look for more time, always come to the monthlies first. Check those. And as you can see, these are a little expensive, not nothing too crazy. But you can come out here and play these 122s. Even these 123s, you might be able to get away with. Yeah, so Microsoft is one of the first stocks we're looking at. We're going to be following up on Boeing. Boeing, in this 4-hour chart, it has came down, and now it is trying to basically hold the support, see if we can get a continuation play and pop up and get to this next resistance. So Boeing contracts, we can come over here and look. And as you can see, these 400s, these 397s, all of these contracts are actually decent to play. But if you're going to play the 400s, Boeing's going to need to make a serious move. So if you're going to play, just move closer. And on the downside, same thing. Look at the chart, see where support is at. Next support is at 380, even 387s. So 387.5s, these ones might be decent. The 390s will be better. And that is because of the time with the contracts. And the next stock that I am looking at for the week is, I think it's Apple. Apple. Now, Apple is doing the same thing. It's moving with the markets. And as you can see, it's making this cup form. And if we can hold, then we can see continuation to the upside. And right now, Apple is trading at 194. And the low of it was yesterday, or today was 190, and we are looking up at resistance of 196. So we're gonna look at the contracts real quick on Apple. These 195s, these 197s, and on the downside, these 192s and 190s. So I would probably go for these 195s to play Apple. I would not play these ones. These ones are a little far out. That's like a $4 move on Apple. So yeah, Apple 195 calls. And then if it's gonna fade, then we will be looking at the 192. We'll be looking at the opposite of the puts. So the same ones. These ones right here, the opposite, the 192.5s. Now, I want to talk about my scanners, and we're going to show you guys how I look for continuation plays in the market. So we come over here to the scanners. Trading Fraternity, shout out to the Trading Fraternity, the code. All right, so now I set up my scanners right here. You guys see the market cap. We play big cap stocks. I do not play penny cap stocks. I do not like to play even smaller cap stocks. I like to play 2 million and above. We look for volume, and we want stocks really over $10. So, and we want optionable contracts, optionable stocks. So we hit yes, boom. Now the stock list comes up. Mark of change. Make sure you have that in there so you guys can see what's going on in the after hours and pre-market. This is my pre-market scanner, but I use it for after hours too. That's where the 5 million shares come into play. And as you guys can see, the top stocks that were up today, APU, DAL. Now when I come over here, I like to look for stocks that I'm familiar with. Stocks that I'm familiar with are Facebook, AMD, ABBV, Roku, and we're going to keep it small with those four. We're going to come over here to the charts. Boom. Link these to the 4. Now you got your 4 charts. We're going to go to the 5-minute charts. All of these charts are basically uptrending. Roku is uptrending. Facebook is uptrending, consolidating. This is trying to break out of a downwards wedge. So this one is still downtrending, but is looking to get up to the uptrend with support up here at this 187. Fill the gap. So yeah, we're going to look at these real quick. Go to the 5-minute, and boom. This is how we look for continuation plays. So we're going to have all these 5 minutes set up, and you can basically kind of see the same pattern that is going on. So it had a bull run up. AMD actually did most of the work in the after hours. So this is really setting up for a good continuation play. If it doesn't crack in the morning, though, then it's probably going to be a gap fade. So that's setups that we look at. So Facebook is a really good example. It ran up the whole day intraday, and now it's kind of flattening out. So it's either going to pop up in the morning for a continuation play to the upside, or it's going to have a gap fade, and we're going to buy puts and ride it down to support lines. Same with ABBV. Continuation play to the upside, or it's going to pull back. Roku, continuation play or pull to the pullback. That's how I look for continuation plays. Now I want to show you a stock that's had a continuation play that was on the scanners on Monday after hours. We did not take the trade, but I want to show you in a clear example. So on Friday, we looked at the after hours, and this stock it ran up, had a gap up, and it had a continuation play. So you could have basically played this as a continuation play by looking at what the stock did the prior day. Prior day, it had a run up, same thing, gaps up and goes. So that's how we look for continuation plays. They don't always work, but that is a strategy you can look for. And as you guys know, I like to play the 5-minute breakouts, 1-minute breakouts. If the candle does not get below the first or 5 minutes, then we are going to go up for the rest of the day. Those are the trades that I like to take either to the upside or to the downside. Now, I want to show you guys a quick trade that I took today. That was in Facebook. We ended up, my buddy called out Facebook. He seen it going up in the pre-markets. I'm going to go to the 1-minute chart. So I was alerted right here on these 3 green candles. Now when the stock opened up, it opened up right here. It opened up right here, and then it came up, came down. I bought a call. Now the call ended up going up because the stock ended up going up. Now why did I buy? And I bought because like I just said, the stock, this wick right here, the stock never got below this wick. So the 1-minute breakout was clearly is what I traded. As you can see, it was a 1-minute breakout. The stock never got back below down here. It was a bullish setup. We got the gap and go basically, and you guys can see the 1226. It crossed over early in pre-market, and then it never really looked back until right about here, and I ended up locking in profits. and then I end up buying back, and then we wrote it back up, and then yeah, so that's what we did today. That's how I executed on my trade. And so we talked about the gap fade. Oh, one last thing before we go. We're going to look in the after hours and see what's going on in the futures. And as you guys can, oh my gosh, as you guys can clearly see, the futures is gapping up. So this is basically bullish. If you guys bought puts yesterday at the close, trying to time the top, which we do not do, with the trend is your friend until the very end. So look, the futures are gapping up. This is what we did on Friday. We gapped up right here. This was Friday night. We ended up gapping up, and look what we've done. We've just gone up. So that just that's just showing how what's going on in the markets. The markets are very bullish. This is the NASDAQ /MQ /ES. It's probably doing the exact same thing. We are gapping up, and the Russell, I know the Russell has been pretty weak. We have not got above this high right here, this breakdown candle over here. So we're going to zoom out and see what's going on. And as you guys can see, the Russell has not been able to get above these resistance as like you can see right here on SPY, which is the futures of the ES. We have actually got to this breakdown candle, which is up here, and we're trying to get up to here, ultimately this 294. And on the NASDAQ, you guys can see that we are actually getting above. So we are touching resistance. If we're going to get above, we're going to run, and all-time highs are basically on their way. Consolidation, expect for consolidation. But yeah, that is the markets right now. What is going on? The stocks that I'm looking to trade. Lil Petty, I hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching, and we out of here.